This episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, nerds. This is Wacko, and you're listening to the Nerd Corp podcast because you know what's worth listening to. Bye.
Welcome to the Nerd Corporation.
What up, everybody? It's Thursday, and you know what that means.
Where's the price?
Where's
the price?
Where's the price?
They had so many opportune moments to tell us the price of the new PS5, but they just didn't. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this little back and forth, this little shit fest that they got going on.
Little tease.
Yeah, between Xbox and PlayStation. Tired of it, dude. It's like the only thing we don't have right now.
Yeah.
The only thing.
With that, it is podcast day.
That's right.
Welcome to episode 98. Ooh, shiny. We're going to be talking about the PS5, everything that came out for it, the look of it, just everything that we figured out in last week's reveal. We have one piece of nerd news, and then we're just going to jump right in. So, The Last of Us Part 2 reviews.
96 on Metacritic.
Holy shit.
Which puts it in the pantheon of the one of 10 greatest video games ever made.
I saw a Facebook post in one of the groups that I'm in, and they were upset about Explain's review, the spoiler-free review.
The game Explain?
Yeah, that's what I meant. They had Game Over Greggy and somebody Bailey, but
it couldn't have been Laura Bailey.
No, it was a reviewer. The person who posted it was like, oh man, like they're raving about this and that, and I almost commented, did you play the first game? Because I don't think that they played the first game, or they've read the leaks and are transphobic as hell.
Well, transphobic, homophobic, sexist. I mean, whatever have you.
Take your pick.
I think this game is gonna out a lot of people. Personally, I don't. There's two minds of thought with this game. You read the leaks, or you got spoiled or whatever, and you hate the direction, you hate the characters, you hate what they do to the characters, blah 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 blah, whatever have you, or you're now a newer camp where you think that the game is too violent, and I come into conflict with these because it's getting rave reviews, by the way. It's
perfect scores,
plus 44, 10 out of 10 scores. I'm sorry, but this whole camp of thought where we're thinking that if it's a 10 out of 10, it's a perfect game. That doesn't mean it's a perfect game. It just means that it's of a higher quality video game. Like, when I see 10 out of 10, I see essential. Something that you should play. You should try to play. It doesn't mean it is a perfect video game. It's kind of misleading.
Yeah.
Like, that's why scores kind of need to go away. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not really something that we should base our opinions off of. Kotaku and Polygon both were lambasting the hell out of the game because of its violent nature. And basically calling it just like, I think the new thing is trauma porn. Because it's just nothing but beating you down and not really giving you a whole lot of good. And then you look at like other reviewers and talking about how like there's levity between the characters and there's funny moments and Ellie's still kind of Ellie, you know what I mean? Like who am I to believe here?
I mean, as far as like violence is concerned, this is the apocalypse. This is a kill or be killed situation. Like you're in the middle of a broken world. So to assume that there isn't going to be ridiculous amounts of violence is ignorant, I think.
Well, not only that, but I mean, did you play the first game?
Right.
That's exactly what my point was. Is I'm just like, they clearly don't know how special this franchise is.
Well, and one thing that I've been pretty vocal about is my positive critique of the first game, where it handles violence in a very different way from other video games and pretty much, like most mediums. Like, it handles violence with the gravity that it requires. You know what I mean? Like, the one thing that Polygon says is it makes fun of you for killing people. And I'm just sitting here going like, okay, A, it's a video game. I just don't understand this criticism. Right. Like, their subtitle underneath their review is, "Did you know murder is bad?" And it's like, I'm like, do you guys play video games? There's violence in every game. The idea that they put more details into, like, the violence and everything like this, it's concerning to a point, because I don't want it to be so violent that it loses its point.
Right.
But there's, like I said, there's 44 other credited reviewers not saying this. Like, not saying that it's a problem. Like, if I'm in the middle of a Last of Us game and I don't get uncomfortable with what I'm doing, I don't think I'm playing a Last of Us game. I think I'm playing a boring video game.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing with, like, how the comparison between, it was 2019 for Joker, right? 2019 Joker and any Deadpool movie. Like, Deadpool's like hacking and slashing, and life is being lost on an immediate level everywhere. But like the way that Joker handles its violence is it lends itself that gravity, and not only that, but like just the importance of a life lost. And I feel like that's the power that The Last of Us has. I just don't think it's meaningless. I don't think it's trauma porn. I don't think it's any of this. I think that you feel everything that you do, personally.
Yeah, it's just an important part of the story that, leads you from one thing to the next in terms of, the character development, the emotionality of the situations, and how they're trying to make their way through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's either overwhelmingly positive, or there was one reviewer that was coming out and saying like, "Hey, I didn't really enjoy this game at all," but he seems to be an outlier. So,
and there's Dear Callie Plaggy. I don't think that we're gonna get into that one.
Well, I mean, I think it was a mistake on GameSpot's part. I think it's a mistake on them, because they put a reviewer that usually handles very,
tame,
light-hearted fun, like Animal Crossing, Nintendo, Pokemon. Like, you go to her Twitter page and it's like nothing but like love for Pokemon, and like her banner's a Pokemon game, and like, why did we give one of the most violent, the quote-unquote one of the most violent video games ever, why did we give her the review?
Right.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like, I'm not upset over the fact that she gave it an 8 out of 10. I don't care. I own 1,000 8 out of 10 video games. Like, it's still considered great. Mm-hmm. What I don't understand is the criticism of it being too violent. It's silly to me. Video games are inherently violent. I'm not saying that you can't have that criticism. I just personally think it's a dumb criticism. Just because it is a sequel to like one of the most like important and like one of the games that has the best commentary on violence in video games. Mm-hmm. Not only in video games, but like in media in general. But I don't know. I don't really like her.
She thinks that the boob mechanics in games like Final Fantasy VII Remake are not realistic.
Oh, that's right, huh? She did the whole training bra thing, huh?
And the reality of that comment is that video games aren't realistic.
Okay.
As much as they try to be, there are always going to be some tropey things.
Yeah, like, it's a video game, it's not reality.
And not only that, it's a Japanese video game.
Yeah.
Like, the standards are completely different.
Yep. Well, on to the subject of the hour. So, as most of you know, we've seen the new PS5. And to me, I think it's gorgeous. I love it. I really like the aesthetic of it all.
Yeah, I was telling Misty yesterday, I believe. I like it's just super clean. I really like those clean lines, that black and white contrast. Like it's just really pretty to me.
Yeah.
You know?
It looks like something I want to have a nice, crisp, clean pair of socks on. So I can just slip right into it and wear it and take it to the, you know what I mean?
Nice little comfortable
go
shoe.
Running. I don't know. It's like the white ridges on the top or like the sides, you know what I'm saying, that look like a pop collar.
Uh-huh.
They have like a texture into them. Like I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah.
But like it has like a nice texture. And one thing that I found out too is the texture on the controller on the DualSense is made out of the sacred symbols: square, circle, X, and triangle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they're like very, very teeny, but you can see them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's little things like that where it's like, all right, this is kind of cool.
I like that.
I do like the double
Like
light
that
bar.
shit?
I like that shit.
You like that shit, boy? I like the double light bar inside. I think that looks really pretty.
Those vents on the top are fucking
Oh yeah.
primo.
And I think it's the only thing that's like kind of bugging me is like the symmetry of the one with the disc tray or with the disc.
It's just a little pooch.
It's just weird though.
It's just a little muffin top of the,
It makes
the
it-
disc tray.
It makes it even weirder too that like that goes underneath. So if you're laying it on its side, the disc tray is underneath.
It's just pregnant Station 5,
Yeah.
not PlayStation 5.
That could be it, yeah. Yeah, it's and then the USB ports are like dead center in the middle of it. It's just weird. You'd think that they would find some way to hide that, but that's not a complaint. It's just like
nitpick.
it's a weird aside. I want to know what the back of the console looks like.
Yeah.
Because it's
You want to see the ass
I
end.
want to see that ass. It looks like this thing is gonna be a chonker. Have you seen
the comparisons
the
between
mock-ups between other consoles?
Yeah.
This thing is fucking huge, bro.
it's very
Yeah.
very tall and long. Like you could fit our PS4 Pro and a half inside of
It
this
reminds me a
console.
lot of the original Xbox One. So not the Xbox, not the original Xbox.
It looks like a VCR.
It looks like the VCR Xbox One.
Yeah.
And that console was
It
huge.
was.
That's the one I have for my son, and it's large and
Yeah,
in charge.
it's a very big console.
It's a big boy.
Well, so and I think that the reason why they made it so damn big is to make plenty of space for airflow.
Yeah, cool.
That's why I want to see the back of this console, is because if the back of it is like nothing but mesh, we know that this thing's gonna have a really easy time being cool.
Well, and not sounding like a jet taking off. That'll be
shit.
nice.
I can't wait. I can't wait to pop in The Last of Us Part 2 and just hear just hear it take off. It's like,
Right?
Oh, I can't handle it.
You
I
mean
can't
the
handle-
original, the PS4 Pro?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Can you
I just-
imagine my original? Just
Yeah.
Well,
You have a Slim, don't you?
oh yeah, I do have
That
a
should handle it pretty well, though.
I just remember you putting in the original Last of Us in the
There's
PS4
something
Pro,
about that game.
and it sounds like that PS4 is just gonna explode.
just on some overhaul.
Yeah, and it's like a game from 2014. Like
Yeah.
it's like as close to a launch game as without being one. You know, like it's that was really weird how my PS4 handled that game. Like
It was very weird.
after I refreshed the database, it was kind of fine. Like there wasn't really any glitches or anything like that. But in terms of like starting the game up, it was just like the PS4 was in fucking overdrive mode. It's like like
And
constantly.
our cat, who is very sound sensitive, turns around like, what is going on?
It's like this thing has never made this much noise before. What's the problem? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Like actually, I don't have a problem with it being big. I kind of like the idea of it being like a solid chunk of machine.
So let me ask you this: are you going to keep it Are you going to stand it up, or are you going to lay it flat?
I might just lay it flat.
I don't really know. It depends on what we're gonna do with our other consoles, because we're getting that Last of Us Part 2 PS4. Hopefully it happens.
Okay, well, but
really
let's
know.
let's let me
stand it up, probably.
rephrase that. If space was not an issue, would you keep it stood up or laid flat?
I'd keep it stood up.
I kind of like the way it looks standing up, personally. But but it depends on which one we actually get. Excuse you. If we end up getting the digital version, I would want that to lay down. But if we're getting the disc one, then I'd want to stand it up. I just think it looks better. But there's something kind of just that symmetry that's just bugging me about that one with the disc tray. It just doesn't really make sense. I don't know. It's a very good looking console, and I don't know, the whole two-tone with the console I think looks really well. I'm still not gelling with the two-tone on the controller. I want like a solid colored controller. Like
I'm sure they'll have some.
The second that black controller, that all black controller comes out, dude, I'll be waiting in line. I don't give a shit. I think it's a good looking controller. It looks big too. It looks like a meaty ass controller. Mm-hmm. So it looks like it's like super comfortable to hold.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have solid colored controllers. Have you seen the mock-ups that people are doing with like a Spider-Man version?
The Miles Morales
dude, I wish those were real.
I want a plain black one.
Yeah, plain black one would be
That would be my main thing, because a white console is so insanely hard to keep clean. Mm-hmm. Like we had that Glacier White PS4. That was our first PS4 that we got. And it was such a pain in the ass to keep that thing clean. But I don't know, I'm looking at the picture right now, and it's just very sleek looking. It's very unique. I don't think we've ever gotten a console that looks like this before.
That popped collar, though.
Yeah, the popped collar.
That popped collar.
The weird looking, like folder-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks like a folder that's slightly open. There's been a lot of memes about it looking like a Wi-Fi router.
Or Seto Kaiba's shirt.
And also the protagonist from Persona 4.
Yeah,
his
collars, yep. Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm excited kind of just because it's a new console generation and Sony likes to constantly reiterate their consoles. I'm wondering if we're going to get like a Pro-esque type of situation for a PS5 like down the road.
I'd imagine.
I hope they don't. I hope that they just make it slimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. I just think that whole that console refresh period during the middle of this console generation that we're in right now really kind of messed everything up and just kind of made it all funky. Like I think that this console generation went on for a little longer than it should have.
Gotcha.
But go ahead.
The PS5 specs and like the design, it reminds me a lot of the original PS3, the Spider-Man PS3.
Oh yeah, the big boy.
Mm-hmm. Just like how it's like curvy and like kind of weird looking.
Sexy.
But
it's pretty.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of what the early design, like what fans thought it would look like.
Oh, right, yeah. It looks like a mock-up.
Yeah,
like a mock-up from a fan.
Definitely looks
well,
like
I remember seeing some. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the Crescent Moon PS3 controller that someone made.
Yeah. Like the boomerang.
Yeah. But just with the two-tone, it looks like it's a fan-made, like, concept art.
Yeah, I dig that a lot. It's super futuristic. Yes, he says it looks like some tech you'd find in Mass Effect.
It reminds me of Detroit Beyond Human, or Become Human, excuse me. Yeah, because everything's blue, white, and black in there, and I'm just like, they made a console based on this game. Right. It looks like a fucking Android.
So we're all pretty much in agreement. We like the look of it. We like the controller.
Yep.
I don't want to say that I like it.
I like the controller.
I like the controller. I don't like how the console looks. Yeah, I just want black. Or just one color. That would be best.
But it depends on what the future holds, I guess.
I'm sure they'll have one.
I'm sure we'll get like a special edition console, or because if there is a black one, I would much rather have a black one. And so, I mean, if they don't do like multiple color schemes for launch, which I doubt that they will, I think that down the road, if they were to unveil a black one, I'd buy a black one. Of course, it depends on how much the fucking thing costs.
Right.
Well, it sounds like it's not going to be cheap.
I'm starting to get a little worried.
I'm telling you, I told you.
Well, and you know, my faith wasn't really shaken until I saw that other SKU, that digital one, because you already know that they're gonna offer that thing for like $50 to $100 cheaper, and it's gonna make the price like more palatable. Like it's like a marketing scheme. Like I think that if both consoles come out and they're both $500, like that's my thing that I want. Like I just think if you go any higher than 500, you're just not doing yourself any favors, especially in our current economic climate. But I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna say some wild shit. They're gonna say the one with the disc is $600-$700, and they're gonna say that the discless one is cheaper, and then everyone's gonna say like, "Oh, I'm gonna go for the discless one because it's a better deal." Blah blah blah. Even though it doesn't even have a terabyte of onboard storage.
Right.
It's very concerning.
It definitely is. But
the tech that they're spouting for this thing does not seem cheap. So it's more and more looking like we're gonna be shelling out some cashola for this thing.
Well, that's what I've been saying this whole time. Is like the tech that they're gonna throw into that thing is not something that you can just be like, oh yeah, we'll totally undercut all of this. And
well, yeah, but at the same time, like that's what they've been doing with consoles for a long time. Like the stuff that the modern pieces of technology that were in the PS4 when it got announced was way higher individually placed than what it was all together in one package. So, but they still managed to get that $399 off like it was nothing.
Yeah, but they were losing back then.
What do you guys...
No, PS3 won that console generation.
Did it really?
Yeah. They came back. I know what you mean. Like they just didn't have that great of a, and they definitely had like those. They had those wounds from the past where they're like, okay, we need to come out the gate swinging hard with a good price. What were you about to say?
What do you guys think of the accessories that are going to be available for it? Do you guys like the headphones? Do you guys like the remote? Do you like the camera? I think that they all look very sleek. However, with the remote, which I do want, it looks like a Wiimote.
I couldn't care less about the remote. Like honestly, the headphones I think are a little too large. Like I hate PlayStation like headphones because they're always just so big. Like they're just large. They're just like why do you need to cover? It's basically a helmet. Like why do you need to cover my head? Just give me...
It's 3D technology, bro. It's supposed to sound really good.
Well, fucking put it on me. Like, you don't have to, like, cover my whole head with it. Like, you might as well strap some VR goggles on it.
I'll tell you what, I'm not impressed with the PS4 Golden headset that they've been selling.
It cuts out like crazy.
It cuts out like the sound is fine. Like I think the sound is fine, but for the price that they want, like you bought those for me, right?
It was
over $100. I know that.
It was $160.
See, that's insane.
And they don't work.
Well, I mean, in the way that they advertise is that it has like an internal microphone, so you don't have to have a cord connected to your controller. You just have a microphone that's like right there. There's no like little dongle that comes down or nothing. Like it's not connected. It's connected to your PS4, and that's it. And but like every time I put it on, like either A, it's dead, or B, they can't hear me, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to my Hyperkin. Like,
yeah, the microphone doesn't work very well, and the sound coming out of the headphones itself, they cut out a lot.
Yeah, they're not great. So I don't have very high hopes for PS5's proprietary headphones.
I think that, like, the idea of having, like, everything in the kit, like,
It would be cool for like a launch thing.
Yeah.
But again, like it all depends on how much this fucking thing's gonna cost.
Right.
Because if this thing's $500, then yeah, you can sign me up for like, you know, like I'm gonna drop like a pretty big chunk of cash on this thing. Like, this is
Make
besides.
it worth my while.
Well, that's kind of what we did for the Switch too. Like when we first got the Switch, we got all the games, we got a set of controllers, we got the Pro controller, we got all the fucking Zelda amiibos. Like we went hard for the Switch, and I do plan on doing the same thing for the PS5. I do want to buy like another controller and like at least 1 or 2 games,
Right.
and then maybe that remote, because that's one thing too, is I want to get out of the habit of using my PS4 controller for like YouTube or watching movies or whatever, like just to cut out that unnecessary time that we're using battery on those controllers.
I think the media remote looks really cool and it's really sleek.
Well,
and
it's only going to be like $30.
And I feel like
if I had to guess.
I feel like such a normie talking about it because it's for the customers who only use the PS4 as like a Blu-ray player. But I think it's cool looking.
Yeah. Well, no, and it's just one of those things where I feel like we would benefit from something like that. Like it's not just like a
and it's another PlayStation
convenient
product,
thing.
you know.
Well, yeah, consumerism at its finest.
Right.
Capitalism.
I don't know. Like if that controller comes out and it's like $80, which I think it might.
I think it might be, dude. Like
I mean, that's how much a Pro controller is for Nintendo, and I know like we shouldn't compare, but at the same time, like those fucking controllers sell really well. Yeah.
Like I'm banking on the fact that it'll be $80.
Yeah.
Maybe Hori or Mad Catz or somebody will come out with a cheaper, probably haptic free version.
Yeah.
That also doesn't have the sound coming through the controller that we're used to, and that will be like their Pro controller, but like on a budget.
Yeah. No, I one thing I really want from Sony this generation is that I want them to make a Pro controller like Xbox has been doing. I want them to like
a customizable one.
Well, not even that. Like, yeah, that would be cool if they did like an Xbox, you know, like how Xbox has their theme your controller and you can go online and
personally design it.
And design it and customize it with all the funky colors that you want.
Put your game
I want a
tag on
Pro controller, like a Sony made Pro controller that has all the bells and the whistles just like the Astro. I'm telling you, that Xbox Elite controller, the Xbox Elite 2
with the paddles on
is
the
the best fucking controller I've ever used ever. That thing is it has the right amount of weight, it has the right amount of like texture. My hands don't get sweaty using that controller. I don't know what fucking black magic they put in this shit, but like it is such a I'm playing through Halo right now, the first Halo, and it's like the most comfortable goddamn thing I've ever had with a controller. I don't know what it is. Like, it has the right amount of tension in the triggers. Every single button is just nice, responsive, and clicky. Like, it has, like, 3 different sets of, like, dome thumbsticks. It has, like, 3 different fucking D-pads. That controller is rad, bro. I want one for my PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's not an Astro that's $200 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think that that'd be really cool.
I agree. Well, shall we get on to the games?
So we're gonna talk about the games, but we're pretty much gonna skip like most of the fucking artsy fartsy fucking games that everyone's doing right now.
Well,
yeah,
we can mention them.
We can
just
mention
won't go
ones that we
into
like. I just don't think that there's any that we liked.
You're such a hater.
I'm so tired of it. Like they're just like
It
they're
reminded
filler
me-
food.
it-
They're like the shitty bun of a
It
all right
reminded
burger.
me a lot of the Microsoft keynote, where they would just throw in a 60-second montage of all of their indie titles that are coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Well, that's what they should have done, though. Because
And not
we spent
shown
so
full
much
trailers.
time. This was an hour long, which I was grateful for the build up to the box, because I think that they did that really well. Me and you were watching it together, and we're
Yeah.
like, show me the fucking box.
Show the box.
Cowards. Like, I think that in most of the games that they did reveal look really great. I just think, like, there was one game where I just was like, I am done. I'm done. It's that Jet Jett. It's the one where they're going in space. Very minimalistic. Looks like you're in a spaceship of some kind.
Right.
I'm just like, I am done. I am
Over it.
done with everyone, their mother and their dog's version of an artsy-fartsy game. I'm done with this shit. Like, we should save these... And I get, like, you want to have, like, some filler stuff. But holy God, it was, like, game after game after game of just not real great-looking stuff. Like there was like a weird amateur anime of a dinosaur high school. Like I'm just like, what what am I supposed? Is that gameplay? Is that animate? That obviously it's animation. Like what? I don't know.
Anyway.
But the games that I was super impressed with was the ones that we're going to talk about. So they came out, dicks a swinging.
Yeah.
The new
Spider-Man. Miles Morales.
Which there was some kind of confusion about whether or not that was
an expansion,
like DLC, because I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I really was. I was like, this seems really fast. Like Spider-Man 2018 is not even 2 years old yet, so I'm thinking like, whoa, that's a hell of a turnaround. And they're making another game that we're going to talk about here in a second. Like what? That seems really fast. Like,
right.
Even if it is just taking place in Manhattan like the other one is, like that...
It's, from what I've gathered, Jason Schreier is saying that it's like Uncharted Lost Legacy is to Uncharted 5.
4.
4. And the way that I interpreted it was it's Far Cry 5's
New Dawn. So, same map, same engine, and same with like Resident Evil 2 remake and 3. Mm-hmm.
Like they there's not a ton of like turnaround time for that.
So it is called Spider-Man Miles Morales. I hate the title. I gotta tell you, I hate the title.
Yeah, they could have been.
I mean, this is a launch game.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is coming out around the same time as the PS5. I just don't think it's a great name. It sounds like a DLC name.
It does.
And that's
that's what it is. So they, from what I've read, they're going to be bringing Spider-Man over to the PlayStation 5 with that add-on.
Oh.
And it's going to be the ultimate edition of Spider-Man. So yeah, you're not going to have to be paying for this game unless you buy the normal edition and then want
the Spider-Man PS5 edition.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if they're comparing it to Lost Legacy though, like that's still like a pretty big chunk of a video game, like and not only that, I kind of wish that like if we were gonna bring Miles Morales into it, I kind of wish it was like a sequel.
Yeah, I agree. Like I wish it was.
He kind of deserves the title of a full blown video game. I mean, the way that they set it up in that game in Spider-Man 2018, it made him seem to be like a more important character.
Yeah, a more pivotal character. Black Spider-Man matter. That's
yeah. It's the Logic song, Black Spider-Man.
Well, that's why I was so excited about the trailer. Is I was like,
it's a great fucking trailer.
I was like, it's Black Spider-Man.
It's a great trailer.
It is.
And I don't think I don't think it quells my excitement for it at all because I loved Spider-Man 2018.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I, we both platinumed it in like 4 to 5 years.
In a race.
Yeah, you guys had a competition.
I'm very excited. It seems like a great game. Yessie's favorite game series in the world, Gran Turismo 7. Looks great. It's a driving game.
It's
Yessie, eat your heart out.
It's the driving simulator. So I mean, like, there's really not much to talk about. Cooler graphics. Those games always, like, even from the beginning.
I kind of want to check it out. Like, to be honest, I kind of want to.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna end up getting it because Yessie wants it.
Yeah.
But like, those games always from the beginning have always impressed me. Like, I remember. Like, from the very first one, like, on the PS1 or whatever, like, I remember that's, like, probably the first game that I looked at and was like, wow, this game looks great. Like,
so, my family had the steering wheel and the pedals
rad.
for that game.
Yeah, I remember, like, just, that's the first game I ever really paid attention to graphics with.
Yeah.
And they always look great. Like, they always look 3 or 4 levels ahead of their time. Like,
well, Polyphony is no slouch.
Yeah.
Polyphony Game Studios, like, there's a reason why Sony bought them and brought them into being their first party, and they've been kind of at the forefront of Sony's first party for a long time. My only thing is, like, we need to gamify this a little bit more, like, with racing games. Like, I think, like, the whole career mode and everything is cool. But,
well, I'm sure that they'll have like mini games.
And I get, like, this is Gran Turismo's, like, niche. Like, this is kind of like what they do. This isn't. I just want a new Burnout game. Give me a new Burnout game, man, please.
Or give me something like Need for Speed Underground, like
something, yeah,
like something like that. Like doesn't take itself completely serious, but doesn't like remove the immersion of the fact that you're playing a driving game.
Looks fantastic. I'll probably end up waiting because I don't want to admit that I spent $60 on a Gran Turismo game.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to get it day one because if not, I'll get divorced. So
shallow ass woman, isn't she?
Buy me this, or I'll sleep with someone who does.
My wife's boyfriend said that I can have an extra half hour on the Switch.
fucking Rockstar, man.
Yeah, Rockstar.
God.
Grand Theft Auto 5 to the PS5. We're never going to get Grand Theft Auto 6. Ever.
No.
Ever.
I got to tell you, though, there was a slight jump in my heart rate. When I saw that Rockstar logo, I was like, whoa, what? Like, oh shit, like, what are we doing here? Because, like, it's so up in the air on what are we doing with Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
5 came out in 2013.
Yeah, it's been...
on the PS3.
Yeah, it's been 7 years, Rockstar.
So, well, and I mean, we got Red Dead, and I'm happy with Red Dead. I've always been happy with Red Dead. But it's time to move on from 5, man.
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
And not only that, like, this kind of seemed like a weird power move because everyone who gets a PS5 gets GTA 5.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
Like, this is some weird shit that we're doing. And obviously it's also coming to the new Xbox. Obviously. So I'm just sitting here going like, that's just kind of a weird thing to do. It was a weird thing to do on the PS4. That was a weird thing. Where they're like, hey, we're taking it from this console and putting it onto this next console.
So the reason why they did it from the PS3 to the PS4 was because it came out at the end of the PS3's life cycle.
Yeah.
And,
But it was still selling gangbusters.
And, money.
Yeah, well, money, obviously. I'm just wondering, like, how much better can that game look? Is it in 60 frames on the PS4 and the Xbox One? I don't think that it is. So, like, is it really worth buying this game a second time for $60?
No.
Just to get 60 frames per second?
No.
Like, the changes in like, graphic fidelity are going to be so minuscule. I highly doubt you're going to see any difference.
I'm over it.
I really don't.
I'm over it.
So, like, the whole idea... Well, and I've actually been thinking about, like, revisiting GTA 5 because it's been a long fucking time. I don't even have any of the PS4 trophies. Mm-hmm. So I think it'd be kind of cool to visit it on the PS5, but only if I'm going to get it for free.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not dropping another $60 on that game. I've done it twice now.
Yeah, same.
More than twice, because I bought it for multiple consoles.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's just a weird move. I don't understand how much more great that game can look. Fucking GTA 5. We're getting a new Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, boy! Get a new Ratchet and Clank. Insomniac Games coming back. Y'all haven't played that PS4 game, have you?
I haven't played
Y'all
any
fucking
of it.
sleeping.
It was a PlayStation Plus free game.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I have it in my library.
Dude, if it's not, it's like... It's one of those games...
Probably like $15.
It's one of those games at Walmart that's like down at the bottom of the PS4 cabinet.
Which is such a shame because it's such a good one.
It's like playing a fucking Pixar movie.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun. Like, that game is really, really fun.
Yeah.
So this one looks fantastic. Personally, I think it was like one of the only titles that we saw this at that time during the reveal. I think it's one of the only games that like truly showed like what the PS5 could do, because like there's so many moments where there's like no loading times and you're like falling into like a weird dimension portal and you're instantly going into like a completely different world. Like it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed like just the portal jumps from one part of the level to the other. Like,
Yeah.
You got to imagine that wasn't easy to render out and like make. So, I mean, I've never played any of the Ratchet and Clank games.
Really, seriously, try the PS4 game because it's a wonderful reboot. It's a super easy platinum, and it's fun as hell to play.
So, I'll have to give it a shot.
I think that one's actually better than the original games that came out on the PS2 because like there was some really weird pacing issues with those original ones.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean that's a day one for me. That game looks fucking really rad. Project Athia?
Yeah.
So it's a working title.
Oh, yeah. So from our lovely friends over at Square Enix that just don't know how to title video games.
You just take two words and put them together.
They go on to like the rap.
The rap name generator.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this game. It looks great. It did use some really concerning verbiage when it was saying. It said exclusively designed for PS5.
Yeah.
So that made me think, oh shit. You know, and this was an early on announcement too, so I'm thinking like, oh shit, they're doing some kind of stupid ass gimmick with this console, like, because why would they say exclusively designed for the PS5? Cause
right.
That leads me to believe that like the PS5 has some kind of weird thing that other consoles aren't going to have. Think like the motion controls in the DualShock 3 for the PS3.
Just some kitschy little thing.
Yeah, some weird little thing that's just going to be obnoxious, like the microphone on the DualShock 4. Like, there's like you can count on one hand how many games actually did something with that.
Yeah, and the trackpad too. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah. The touchpad. The
touchpad.
I think it's called the trackpad though. I'm not sure. We don't know anything about it. I'm going to completely forget about this game until it's talked about again, because it looks great. It looks great.
Looks like a Square Enix
I mean,
game.
that's about it. We got a cat game.
Yeah, I'm excited for
Stray,
that.
I'm so excited.
I'm actually really excited for that game.
So, what I have read about it, it's just a cat simulator.
It's a mystery. You play as a cat and you're like solving mysteries.
Yeah.
Because the way that the trailer is framed is like there's these robot people everywhere. Like doesn't seem
society.
to be. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be like humans anymore. It just seems to be like really weird.
It reminded
robots.
me a lot of the Disney movie WALL-E.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded
They look like a bunch of Honda robots.
Yeah. And then there's this lone little cat, calico cat.
With a backpack.
With a little teeny backpack. This like it looks cool. It was a notable developer too, but I can't remember the name of it.
Do you want to talk about the dumbest name for a video game ever?
Returnal. Returnal. I get it. It's a play on Return and Eternal. Because like if you look at the trailer, it's very like Groundhog's Day-esque.
Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah,
like a mix between Groundhog Day and Edge of Tomorrow. Like it just some weird love child between that. So this is the game that's actually being developed by Housemarque Games, who are really popular for their twin stick shooters. Like one of their biggest games that came out for the PS4 was a launch title called Resogun, which was super fun. They also did like House of the Dead, or not House of the Dead, Dead Nation, and there was another one I think it's called Matterfall, something like that. But they're like really, really good developers that make super fun games. So this is like quite the departure from what they normally do.
Yeah, because they're usually the twin stick shooter type.
And this is looking like a third-person action adventure type game. Third-person shooter. I don't know. Very, very strange-looking title. I don't really know what to think. Like, it's a super dumb name, though.
It reminds me... I can't think of the name of the movie, but it's the movie with Matthew McConaughey.
Interstellar?
Yes. Where he gets like trapped in like some weird dimension and comes back. That's what it reminded me.
The one thing that I will give this game is that the protagonist seems older. Like, it's not
with weird eyeballs.
they aren't like in their 20s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This person looks like they're in their mid to late 30s, and I think that's kind of like a cool takeoff.
The whole time I saw this trailer, it reminds me of this band called Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
They have a music video called, it's called Planet A. It's like almost shot for shot, like woman going in space, landing on a derelict planet. Like it's really weird. I know that that's like super obtuse and obscure, but it was like the whole time I'm thinking like, what the fuck? Like, are they?
Is Devil Wears Prada making a game?
Are they making a video game? It's a great fucking song. Sackboy Big Adventure.
It's just a Sackboy platform.
Sackboy's back, baby. Sackboy's back, baby. What do you think about them sacks, huh?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm
Looks like a fucking platformer.
yeah.
It looks like Knack 3.5.
Well, it's Little Big Planet continued, right?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's being made by Sumo Digital, and they made Little Big Planet 3. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that they're gonna treat that IP with the respect that it deserves, however much it merits. Kena, Bridge of Spirits.
So
Bridge of Spirits.
this game is from Ember Labs, and they made a fan-made Majora's Mask short on YouTube, and it's really beautiful. That's what they're most known for, as far as I know. But
the game looks like a Pixar movie.
yeah, and so the Ember Labs is mainly known for their animations.
Right. Yeah, that's what the developer had said right off the bat, that they were mostly animation, entertainment, and things like that.
But it's very interesting to me because that Majora's Mask short is, a Nintendo title,
IP.
but now they're working for Sony, which I just thought that was.
I'm curious to know if it's an exclusive title. I'm wondering if it would come to like PC or Xbox or anything like that, because it doesn't look like a PlayStation only title. But I agree with you fully. I think it looks great. We're getting a new Oddworld game.
I'm super excited about it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about this, because I've never understood the appeal of Oddworld games. They're kind of funny,
they're just
right?
Weird, yeah. They're just weird and crazy. I love the original, like Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah.
That. Like,
The dry humor in it.
yeah, it's really fun.
That's why it was such a weird tonally like in terms of tone trailer for me, is because aren't those games, they're like known for their comedy and like stuff like that, right? Like this is a very intense trailer.
Yeah.
Like visuals and music, and it seems very intense.
Yeah.
And I've kind of always known those games to be. We did get to see Lorne Lanning though, so that's kind of cool. The guy that makes the games.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean it's like they're more dry wit and some silliness here and there as well,
Yeah.
but. Yeah, no, that seemed more intense for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything against these games. I just never played them.
I played them and I liked them, but these aren't the games that make me super excited. Like I feel like I'll play it. I'm not going to complain about it, but I'm going to play it, and then I'll probably never think about it again.
Well, and Oddworld fans have been kind of short-shifted. Like. This game's been in development or been talked about for a long time.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for a lot of people. This website that I'm reading off of says, Wowzer, Ghostwire Tokyo looks intense. I'm going to tell you that it doesn't.
Yeah.
I think that game looks like hot shit. I don't think it looks good at all.
Oh, yeah.
Which...
this is really disappointing from Shinji Mikami of Resident Evil and Evil Within fame.
This is probably my most anticipated game because it's been talked about so recently, I guess. But yeah, I remember watching a stream after the PS5 reveal stream, and they were like, I thought that maybe like the frame rates just dropped during the announcement stream, but no, it's on the actual trailer too, which is really sad.
Yeah, the game. Like, I can't wait to play it on my PS3. Like,
I'll tell you, I'm really fucking bummed because I love Mikami-san. I love all of his games. Like, besides Evil Within 2, because that one made me want to.
It was really bad.
Made me want to put my head in the drywall and inhale as hard as I can.
Well, it fell apart, and it shut down the PS4
I had so many hard crashes with that game.
I think
like, and it wasn't even like super impressive in terms of like graphic fidelity or like anything. Like, it was not pushing the PS4 at all. And back then, that was the Pro that we have downstairs. Mm-hmm. That game ran like shit. Like, it was all over the place narrative wise. Like. And the first Evil Within was really, really good. Like, it was like a solid, super solid first outing for Tango Gameworks. I think that was their first title because Mikami left Capcom pretty early on in the early aughts, and then decided to go do this Tango Gameworks thing with Bethesda. And the Evil Within was their first title. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's their first game, and it was really good. It's a really good title.
Isn't like Bethesda involved with Ghostwire as well?
Yeah.
So
they're a Bethesda game.
Yeah, they're their publisher.
Tango Gameworks, I think, is either a first or a second party developer. Well, I guess it would be second party.
Well,
I don't know. I don't think it looks very good at all. I think it's super simplistic and not in a good way. I think that I was super kind of excited last year is when we found out about this game at E3 during Bethesda's fucking thing that they had. I wouldn't really call it a conference because it was it was bad.
Spooky.
Yeah, we had the lovely Akumi, whatever her name, the bubbly Japanese girl that came out and was like Ikumi-saka, like doing all kinds of shit on the stage, like she was very cute, cute.
Bear with me.
Yeah.
She's so cute. I love her so much.
The best thing about that game.
I hope that she's having a good day.
I hope she's eating well.
They talked about Godfall again with a really weird Joyner Lucas track.
Yeah, that was weird.
You couldn't pay me to give a fuck about this game. I guess it looks good, like, for the people that like generic shit, but Hitman 3.
Yeah.
You're excited about this?
I'm over the moon about it. I love the Hitman series.
I'm excited to see what it looks like on a PS5.
It's gonna look so great, dude.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I honestly think that they should put 47 to rest though. Like
really
get a new 47.
Really?
Yeah,
it's the face.
Yeah.
Really.
I think 47 can be whoever.
You think that they're still gonna go through like the whole seasonal path that they did with Hitman 1? Or do you think they're going to go more full package like they did with 2?
I think they'll do full package. Yeah. Like, because, for me, that whole seasonal Hitman 1 thing was, I didn't care much.
That's what turned me off. Is I just was like, why would I do one thing and then come back in a month or two?
Yeah, no, I didn't care for it much. But I'm excited. Like, 47 to me is like the James Bond of PlayStation games.
I can't help but when I think of Agent 47, I think of the awful Hitman movies.
With Josh Duhamel?
Well, no, it's Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, yeah, it is. I always get those two confused.
Yeah. It's not hard. They're two pretty similar looking white guys in an action movie. And they would be both bald.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. NBA 2K21, because of course, we gotta have a sweaty athlete.
The sweat mechanics.
Which, I don't know if I just am a douche, but I just wasn't super impressed. Like, it looks like a PS4 game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this is another one of those 2K games where I'm just like, okay, it's not Grand Theft Auto, and it's not BioShock, so, like, who gives a fuck? And it's another basketball game. I'll wait for next year when they work all the kinks out of it.
Yeah.
I think the year after that when they work out all the kinks from the previous
Yeah.
So, interesting title from the creators of Octodad, The Dadliest Catch. That's the real title of that video game.
Yeah, it is.
Bugsnax.
Oh, God.
So, this is a weird Eldritchian universe where these strange creatures will eat a piece of food and then they'll slowly turn into that food.
Yeah.
Like you see a creature eat a strawberry, and then his arms turn. This is fucking terrifying.
It's like a melatonin dream.
Yeah.
This is some spooky shit.
Okay.
This is otherworldly shit. Like I was kind of expecting Cthulhu to pop out in the next scene. Like this is horrifying.
Well,
shit.
the thing about it is that all the food is a bug. So like it's all just like cannibalism.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then you turn into the thing you cannibalize. And I don't know what the premise of the game is. Like just eat things.
It's a family friendly game where you eat each other.
What do you think about bug snacks?
I don't know, man. It looked weird.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right. I mean,
I literally thought I was dying of hypothermia. I was seeing shit, I thought, with this game.
It's a fever dream.
I was like, what is happening? Let's see. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are probably the 5 most impressive games for me.
Okay.
Deathloop.
Yes.
This game looks wicked fun. This game looks fucking rad.
And it's a Bethesda game. So
it's not a Bethesda game.
It's
a Bethesda game. It's published by
with
published by, but it's not developed by.
Well, it's Arcane.
But Arcane gave us some really good titles
Yeah.
with the Dishonored games.
Yeah, Dishonored.
It looks like Dishonored with like more guns and like this weird, again, sensing a theme here with Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Like, you die, you come back. There's like a constant threat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And like it's very, like you said, it's very Tarantino-esque. Like the way,
like super grindhouse.
it has a very noticeable aesthetic with it as well. Like the models in game are kind of like low res.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they still look really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about this game, but it looks really, really good.
I'm super, super excited for this. Every time, like, Arcane has done no wrong by me.
Yet.
So far.
So far.
Yeah.
Pragmata. Which is another one of those weird titles.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been confirmed yet, which is really weird. But I think that this is the game that's being developed or written by the Dead Space writer.
Yeah, it's super Dead Space looking.
Well, I mean that the helmet is a dead giveaway.
Like just that whole character, like the helmet, the backpack,
It's
something
interesting that it's a Capcom game.
Yeah.
too.
So we didn't even know because there was nothing.
There was no title
cold
card or anything. It was a cold intro to this game.
but like no developer flash card, no nothing. Like, and then it was at the very end of the
Where
after it
you
said
learn
Pragmata.
what it's called.
At the very bottom in the tiny print, it says Capcom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where people are starting to see. But the fact that this is a Capcom game makes me about 35% more excited. Like,
Well,
I'm super
What's
like if
cool
it's a
about it, it's a new IP.
yeah.
And what's super cool to me about it is that Capcom is mainly known for Resident Evil and fighting games.
yeah.
So
Resident Evil, Mega Man, Devil May Cry.
whatever. But it's cool that we've got another what seems to be an RPG.
Yeah, this is a new IP in a long time. Like, they haven't made a new IP in a long time. Very cool, very like Death Stranding-esque. Like you're in it looks like New York.
I
like
do
down.
remember we made that joke that it was Death Stranding too.
Yeah, it looks like we made that joke a lot.
A few times, yeah, with the new Resident Evil as well.
You're like in downtown Manhattan, it looks like, and you're in a weird space suit. You come across, you like shoot this sparkly dust in the middle of the air, and then the girl materializes in front of you, and
then there's a cat that's like, it's like phasing in and out of the world.
Yeah. Very vague trailer, but it looks really cool. And if it has anything to do with Dead Space, I'm in. If it has anything to do with Capcom, I'm like,
right.
in.
And like, it's only a cinematic trailer, but it looks promising. It looks interesting.
Yeah, it caught my attention for sure.
And that's also one of the games that is the absolute furthest out. They said 2022.
Yeah.
Which is, whatever, I guess. Why say anything? Like, why give us a date?
Right, yeah.
Like, there's a reason why Horizon 2 didn't give us a date, you know? Like, they just, I don't know. Speaking of Horizon 2, it's actually called Horizon 2 Forbidden West, right?
That's another one of those titles where they just took two words together.
Well, Horizon Zero Dawn is a really fucking cool name.
Mm.
And I wasn't really expecting much in terms of name, but, like, I don't know. The thing is I don't really care about this game.
Yeah, neither
like,
do I.
At all. Did you play Horizon Zero Dawn at all?
No.
It came out the same week.
A week before.
That The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild came out and the Nintendo Switch. We had both pre-ordered. We did not play Horizon Zero Dawn.
I played it for like 2 hours.
It got shelved like almost immediately, which is really sad.
Yeah.
But where The Legend of Zelda, you could literally climb on any surface.
Yeah.
Horizon, you couldn't. So it was really hard to go like in between those.
Well, not only
games.
that, but Zelda also had like the launch of a new console. Like hype was at an all-time high. Not only for Zelda, but also for the Switch. Like the Switch was like the shiny new toy,
right?
You know, and people that were still stuck in that PlayStation eco zone.
It was a very poor decision on Sony's part to release that game during that time frame.
I don't really know if I agree with that because it's one of PlayStation's best-selling games.
I think that they could have had a better launch.
Probably, but sometimes these things just happen. Like,
yeah,
it's not like a situation where EA, the fucking dum-dums, put Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 within the same 2 weeks period.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, Titanfall 2 is just going to be absolutely devoured by Battlefield 1. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not like one of those situations. It's kind of like that Mad Max PS4 game that came out, which was actually really good.
Was it?
Yeah, but it came out the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, God.
So it's like,
yeah.
I got $60. I'm obviously going to go for Kojima, you know?
Well, see, and for somebody who didn't get a Switch on the same week and bought the game anyway, like, yeah. I played the first, 5-6 hours of the game and then just left it alone.
Well, what's wild is that I did come back. I came back to Horizon, and I still only got, an hour in before I was like, this just isn't for me.
Yeah, it looks pretty. It's a beautiful game. I'm sure people love it. You said that Colin from Sacred Symbols swears by it.
He just gasses that game up so much. And the thing is that he shits on Zelda. He's like, Zelda's just not really that great of a game, but Horizon, I just think it was one of those time and place things where it's like, okay, if you played Zelda, you're going to enjoy Zelda more than playing, you played Zelda first, so you're going to enjoy it more than playing this other open world game. The problem with me is that I'm so burned out on open world games. I'm just so tired of them to the point where I'm just not really even willing to give you the time of day.
Right.
So and that's exactly what, it's a beautiful world. The mechanics are cool, the bow and arrows, the robot dinosaurs. That shit is really cool. And I'm probably gonna end up having to go back and just trudge through it and just see when it gets better, because there's a lot of people that really swear by that game.
Yeah, I might need to do that too, just because I want to see where this ends up hyping.
This is the game that Sony ended on, but it is not where I want to end this conversation.
Gotcha.
I might be the only one in the room, but I'm so excited that we're getting a Demon's Souls remaster.
Yeah, you're the only one.
Or it's not even a remaster, it's a remake.
Yeah.
It's from the ground up. There's so much history with Sony in this game. What if I told you that Sony had the opportunity to make it so Dark Souls, Sekiro, Bloodborne, all these Souls games were exclusive on PlayStation? What if I told you that they absolutely fucking bunked that opportunity because of this one title? They didn't think that this game was going to do very well. So this game right here is exclusive to the PS3, the original title.
Mm-hmm.
So what ended up happening was From Software was like, hey, we're looking for a publisher. If you want to buy us, you totally can. We're out here. We're bait. We're looking for a hook. And Sony just totally bungled it. So Bandai Namco came in, bought up that shit for like super cheap, and now the Souls games are like insanely popular. Those games are big time, and that could have been, dude. Could you imagine From Software as a first party developer for Sony? That'd be big time. Like I know y'all ain't really into those games, but like they do really really well. And Demon Souls is one of the games that I haven't played yet because it plays like dog shit on the PS3. Oh. It is no bueno at all. It looks fantastic though, and if it's like a launch game for PS5, that would be even cooler. But I don't think it is. But I think the most impressive reveal for pretty much everyone here was Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
But it's not called that. It's like they're
Resident
just called
Evil The Village.
Well, from what I've seen, it's just Village.
It's just Village.
Yeah.
It's called Village Resident Evil. It's the same way that they just did Resident Evil Biohazard for 7, but they're just cheeky with it.
Yeah.
You know, like they're cheeky with like the Roman numerals that are hidden in the village. I think it looks fantastic. I don't think it looks great running because that.
Well, it's early footage.
Well, what makes me think that I think that this game is way further out.
So
like 2022.
So I think it's going to be first or second quarter 2022.
Yeah, that's the most perfect time for them.
Yeah.
But they're saying that this is coming out next year. No fucking way.
Well,
the way that this trailer looked, it did not like this trailer. This trailer was running at like 16, 17 frames per second. Like it looked rough. Like in terms of like image quality, it looked fine, but
it was another one of those games that everyone thought that maybe the stream was just like making it look bad. But then they watched the standalone trailer for both this one and Ghostwire Tokyo, and they were like, "No, it just looks bad."
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited. Take me to Romania. Let's go.
That's what it is. Yeah, it looks like a village in Romania. Like there's some Gothic castles in the background that it looks like you're gonna be exploring quite a bit. We're going back to first person. How do you feel about first person?
I could do without it.
Yeah, I think that the over the shoulder third person is very cool and very like Resident Evil.
Yeah, like that's what Resident Evil is to me. Yeah. Like over the shoulder.
Maybe they'll make it like GTA and have you be able to
toggle between it. Yeah, that would be cool. Honestly, I just hope Dracula's in there. They got werewolves. Why not Dracula?
They do.
And Romania is where Transylvania is.
And Umbrella is seemingly still part of this world.
Yep.
I don't know how. They had a very, very minimal role in 7. Have you played 7? You. That's a great
title. DLC is my favorite from 7. 7's
You
DLC
could probably get that game for like dirt cheap too.
You think?
Oh yeah, big time.
Chris Redfield looks like he ate Chris Redfield.
Yeah.
He's
like, sorry.
It's me! I'm in here!
And he drops like an entire clip inside of this man's wife. Like he's being mean.
Sorry, Ethan.
Yeah, it's very weird, but that's confirmation we get Ethan back, the protagonist from 7.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan and Mia, right?
Yeah, yep. Well, I guess Mia's not really a thing anymore.
Well,
she kind of. Well, yeah, that's her on the ground.
Yeah,
and Ethan's like screaming, like, "Why? Why did you do that?" You know, it's kind of
maybe it was a dream though.
So well, it could have.
Or maybe your decisions can affect
it.
Yeah.
Here's what I think about the whole first person thing. I think that this game has been in development for a long, long time. And I think the decision to make it first person was made before the success of 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So I think that this might end up becoming like a trilogy of games that are first person.
So 7, 8, and 9 would be
7, 8, and 9 are going to be first person, and then after that,
and it'll all be Ethan, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Could be, yeah. Oh well, I think in terms of like trilogy, I think it would have to be Ethan. I'm glad Chris Redfield's here. I feel kind of bad. Like every other Resident Evil protagonist is probably on a beach somewhere drinking mimosas, and Chris is just
struggling,
out here punching boulders. You know what I'm saying?
He looks like
and eating them.
He's dressed like a Russian man. I got very like Russian vibes from Chris's appearance.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I mean, I really love Chris Redfield as a protagonist. Like, he's kind of a bitch in the first game, but like he's progressively cooler and cooler, like, as the games go on. My only hope for 8 is that we get rid of the stale enemy types, because in 7 there's really only like 3 enemies and that's it.
Right.
You had the regular slime monster, you had the slime monster that was on all fours, and then you had the regular slime monster that was a little darker shade, but he had an extra like blade on his arm or something, and that's what he would attack you with, and he was really hard to kill. I like there's some problems with 7. Like, we need to be able to run faster. Like, I don't want to be covered in molasses all the time.
I agree.
Like, I'm starting to like remember how I felt about that. It's still that fantastic game with like that Capcom creativity when it comes to puzzles, and like the morbidity when it comes to like, Umbrella's fucking wild schemes that they have in this house. Like, it's still a great title. There's just like several things that I want done differently.
I'm getting a real Las Plagas vibe.
Yeah. It definitely, like, a 4. Mm-hmm. It's definitely screaming a 4 vibe. I just hope, and you said that we have a werewolf. Mm-hmm. Looks like we're fighting werewolves. I hope we're not just fighting werewolves. It looks like it might just be werewolves.
I don't just give it to me.
Also, Ethan appears to be bulletproof.
Yeah.
Because he, like, looks behind this curtain and this man shoots him point blank with a shotgun, and he's just like, whoa.
Hey.
Whoa. Don't shoot.
So, out of all of them, what are you guys excited for the most?
Honestly, I'm super excited for Demon Souls. I'm excited for Spider-Man. I'm super excited for Resident Evil 8. I'm most excited just for the fact that we are finally moving on.
Yeah.
We're going to a new console. This is an exciting time. New console, new look, new UI.
New phone, who dis?
The UI is a big one for me. Like,
it's so pretty.
It's very pretty.
It's like
glittery. We only in like golden.
Yeah.
Like, we really only got like a small snippet of it. It looks really great.
Thank goodness, no more cross media bar.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that yet.
We
don't know that yet. I'm just excited to have like a new controller, new look, like all these. Like, the beginning of a new console generation is always super exciting for me.
I am most excited still for Ghostwire Tokyo and Resident Evil and that Stray game.
Yeah, Stray looks like it's going to be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm most excited for Spider-Man Oddworld and Resident Evil.
Yeah, Spider-Man for me also, Resident Evil, Deathloop, definitely. Those are like the 3 ones that stood out for me the most.
Yeah.
I think that those are going to be like the most fun. Fucking, you want to get down on a competition when Miles Morales comes out again?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Will it have a platinum though?
Oh, speaking of platinums, Last of Us Part 2 is a incredibly easy platinum.
Oh,
you just have to play the game, huh?
No. Oh. So those pesky collectible trophies come by. You're gonna have to play the game more than once, but if you follow like a guide, it looks like a 2 playthrough kind of thing.
Nice.
There's no difficulty trophies at all, so you can play it on whatever difficulty you want.
I like that.
You like that shit?
I like that.
That shit, bitch.
I do. I like that shit.
Super excited.
Cool.
We might have to race for that one too.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our take on the PS5. Everything that we love, we hated. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, you can follow us on social media.
On Facebook at the Nerd Corporation, a podcast.
On Twitter and Instagram at Nerdcourt Podcast.
Or you can shoot us an email at nerdcourtpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search the Nerd Corporation and look out for our green NC logo.
And if you want to talk more PS5 news with us, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/nerdcorp podcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts to Snyder cuts and bonus episodes. We wanted to thank our patrons, Anna Turkel, Misty Marie, and Misty Anderson, for being our Nerd Corporate backers, Nerd Corporate financiers, and I forgot the other one. I'm not going to look for it. If you can't make a monthly commitment, consider supporting us on PayPal, paypal.me/nerdcorp podcast. We wouldn't be where we are today without your contributions. All of our equipment has been due to your contributions, and we hope to get even better with future contributions. Shout out to Nick Lewis. He couldn't be here today due to some personal problems, but we love him, and we hope he's doing okay. For the Nerd Corporation, my name is Eddie Lyon.
I'm Cole Simper.
Derek Reese.
I'm Angela Wooden.
Keep it nerdy.